Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to finish our look at all the rhythms to Harvester of Sorrow by Metallica. So we did the main riff and pretty much the chorus riff, everything that happened in the intro basically. We did that in the first video a while back. So we're going to finish the song now. We're going to look at all the rest of the riffs in the song. And then in the next video we're going to take a look at the solo and the harmony guitar section that happens after the solo. All right, so let's take a look here. We're pretty much going to pick up from where I left off in the first video, which is what I just did there. The very ending of the first video was... So the whole intro section is pretty much done. And we have this little thing. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Pretty simple stuff by Metallica standards at least. So we're going to go still in standard tuning here, 0, 1, 2 on the low E, then open A. Do that again. And then just reverse it, 2, 1, 0 on the low E. Then we're going to come back up. This time grab the first fret on the A string and back down. And then we're going to start going into the riff by... Alright, so that's just basically that same kind of 3-note ascending thing with the open E power chord there. Alright, and then we get to this kind of riff that kind of transitions a lot of the songs into back to the verse. Sounds like this. All right, and then the vocals come in. So what is that riff? It's the same little 3-note ascending pattern on the low E, and then that first fret on the A string to the E power chord. So you repeat that a few times. And the fourth time we have this. You have the 0, 1, 2 on the low E, open D string, and jump up and grab the power chord there at the 3rd fret. And then you go back to the original one just once, and then back to the open D string, followed by the power chord at the 3rd fret once. So all together. All right, and now we're to the actual verse of the song. So I'm going to play through it real quick and see if you can follow along with how many times everything is repeated or played. That's the hardest thing about it. It's a pretty simple riff. It's just knowing how many times they do everything. So here we go. All right, and that takes us back to that main riff. We we covered in the first video. All right, so that's that ascending 3-note pattern. Over that, just that same power chord hit 4 times. So you do that a few times. And now the same thing again, except the power chord is at the 3rd fret. And then back here, now when you go back to start over, you don't hit the power chord multiple times, you just have. So for 2 times through, 0, 1, 2, and hit the power chord just once. And then the 3rd time, back to the normal rhythm. All right, so it's more about really knowing the song well by ear, because the riffs are pretty simple. It's just knowing how many times they play each part. Now from there we go into the, you have a quick little 0, 1, that takes you back to that main riff. And then back to that section of the verse where so after that main riff, it goes back to that quick little section where it just has 1 power chord. And then, so basically they repeat the second half of the verse right after that main riff. All right, and then it takes us back to, all right, so that was the same. That was the chorus that we got into, just coming out of that main. That little descending thing was 3 on the low E, open A, open D, then 1 on the low E with the open D. Now this rhythm right here, we've already looked at it. If you followed the first video when you went to the intro, they played basically the chorus riffs. They play them there. So if you've learned it already, it's just pretty much the same thing. So you can just kind of follow along, and it goes right back in out of the chorus. Back into that riff that happened, that we just learned a little bit ago, that happened right before the verse. So that's pretty much all the riffs that you're going to see in the song now. So in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at Kirk Hammett's solo and then that cool harmony section that happens after it. I'll see you then.